what a good Muslim is to do. So I worry about any Muslim who wants to be a devoted Muslim.
But aren't they? But are you saying that any devoted Muslim is trying to be a terrorist?
Let me use the proper terminology, because labeling people terrorists and extremists is not what I like to do. I like to call them by what their own religion calls.
But their own religion isn't labeling them to be a terrorist.
No, it's actually Muhammad said, Allah has made me the greatest. No, he said this: Allah has made me victorious through terror. That's a quote of Muhammad. So
is it in the Quran?
It's in the Hadith. Sahih al-Bukhari, which is second in authority to the Quran for Sunni Muslims.
2 Fridays ago, I went with my 7th grade class to a mosque, and that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience that not a lot of people get to do. And we had question and answer time with our Islamic scholar. And some of the questions people asked was, what was her jihad? What did she believe jihad was? And again, I know this is coming from a standpoint of her belief, but what she said is that her jihad is to struggle against something that she believes in, and not all Muslims believe in terrorism. Muslims are frightened when something that they think might be a terrorist attack or that might be on them, because it could hurt their religion because they're labeled as being terrorists.
Okay. See, is your professor planning a tour to a Christian church?
We had our Christianity unit, but everyone has been to a Christian church, so we didn't go to a church.
How about a Hindu temple?
We didn't study Hindu.
What about Sikhism?
No, we haven't studied that.
Baha'i?
The only 3 religions we have studied are Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
You should question why. Why those 3?
Because Judaism is the first religion, Christianity is the largest religion, and Islam is the 2nd largest religion in the world.
So size gives them the importance above other religions?
Yes.
Wow. Who's being discriminatory now?
Well, you're just looking at what's most popular in the world.
I'm not. You are. In your professor, the one that isn't indoctrinating you.
Because you want to learn about what you're going to most come across in your life. You don't want to learn about what you might not come across.
Or would you want to know the truth about what you're going to encounter? So that
I'm sure in my later high school and up to college years, I will study other religions.
And I hope so. But let me give you a quote from the 2nd authority within Islam. It says, I heard Allah's apostle saying, the example of the mujahid is Allah's cause, and Allah knows better who really strives in his cause. Is like a person who fasts and prays continually. Allah guarantees he will admit the mujahid in his cause into paradise if he is killed. Otherwise, he will return him to his home safely with rewards and booty and war booty. This is the context of jihad. You're talking to me about a context of jihad of a person trying to be a better person. That is not what Muhammad taught. He primarily taught that the jihad was of the sword. It is Muslims who changed Muhammad's jihad degrees in order to deceive young ladies like yourself and any other Western liberal that doesn't care for the truth. Thank you, sir.
Did you learn about Islam in your school?
No, I didn't learn about any
Then
religion in school.
what caused your interest in Islam? Why did you want to learn about it?
It's a good question. It happened about when I was 22. Somebody was Bible thumping me. That's how I started. I didn't know about religion. I hadn't studied. I didn't grow up as a Catholic or a Christian. But an uncle married into the family and brought Christianity in. Well, him and a couple of family members and a friend ganged up on me and started Bible thumping. I didn't want anything to do with the Bible. But I got sick of them, so I said, fine, let me get a Bible and see what you guys are all crazy about. Well, when I did, I started reading it, and as people saw me reading the Bible, they said, well, why don't you check this out? So someone presented the Book of Mormon to me. Someone presented the Quran. Someone presented Darwinian evolution. And so now I have all these worldviews presented to me, so I said, you know what, I'll read them all. So alongside of the Bible, I read the Quran, Book of Mormon, Bhagavad Gita, Charles Darwin's writings. I read the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I started studying philosophy. I have the Epic of Gilgamesh. And I just said, I see contradictions between them. I see just simple logical fallacies within some of them. I see claims that they're making that are false. The only one I could not dismantle was the Bible. And then 9/11 happened, and then Islam became a huge topic in the West. And so more Muslims started presenting their perspective. Non-Muslims were asking more questions. I had questions. And so I went out, I got a Quran, I started studying it, started talking to Muslims. I've been to mosques, I've spoken to the imams, I've talked to them online, I've debated Muslims on the microphone out here. And so that's how it started, just out of interest. People thumping.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Folks, I want to